Hello and welcome to this week's coffee vlog. It's Friday the 29th of July and I'm heading home at about 5:30 as usual. I say heading home, hopefully I'll get there as you know, as is the way of things for me at the moment. This morning my car decided to inform me that it needed the injection system checking. Which is a new one. It was fine yesterday when I parked up at home, but this morning, no, comes up with an error. Great big orange spanner light and check injection system. So it got to work all right. It's going now all right. So I parked up and then I went back about an hour later just to start it up, because sometimes it's had the odd error and it clears when you shut it off, leave it for a bit and go back to it. So I thought, right, I'll go back and go. So I started up again. Sure enough, got that error, and then a new one popped up. An extra bonus one: check anti-pollution system. In fact, that's up now as well. So phoned the garage to inform them I'll be bringing it in next week to get that sorted out. Checking up, it looks at the moment it's just an advisory, so it's not flashing and it's not red, it's just an amber advisory, so it's not actually critical to the operation of the car yet. When it starts flashing and going red, then you've got to worry about it and not use the car. But I will actually be making sure I don't do much journeys in it until I've had it in. Although I've done a bit of checking up and it appears most of the time this is caused by sort of faulty sensors and things, not actually a problem at all, just a sensor fault or a sensor dying of old age like the rest of us. So yes, this week at work has been, well, it's been better than it has been, but God, it couldn't get much worse than it's been. So it's been a bit better. I'm steadily getting caught up now with everything. Yeah, it's been okay. I've still got stuff hanging over me to get sorted out, which I hopefully will do at some point. And I've, you know, I've still got things to do that I want to get done, but aren't really progressing very much with, because then the day-to-day running and sorting stuff out gets in the way, which, you know, is the way how life goes. But so yeah, on the whole, that's not been going too bad. The Apple Watch has been going good, and the Apple Watch Unlock especially has been very good. Diving in. Really enjoying it with the MacBook Pro. It was definitely well worth the effort doing that. Go on, just dive in, join the club. It's Friday night, everyone's in a rush. Want to get home, my fish and chips or whatever. Chill out, guys. So yeah, really absolutely made a big difference this week. It's been pretty much spot on. On occasion it hasn't unlocked, it just comes up wanting the password instead. I do seem to be able to just sit down and not have to dangle my wrist over the MacBook, because at work I have the MacBook set back on the desk. I'm actually on like a cooler stand, but that's more to level it up with the cinema display. And then I use an Apple keyboard and obviously the Magic Trackpad too separately, so it's obviously set a fair way back, and I did kind of think at the start when I was using it I'd need to get my watch right over the keyboard, but there's a number of occasions that I've just sat down at the desk, wiggled the mouse and it's gone, unlocking the Apple Watch, little cog, and then bang, you're in, straight in. So yeah, it's been working perfectly. It doesn't seem to have affected the watch battery at all, because you get a notification ding every time you unlock the Mac. The watch sort of gets a notification, so just to say you've done it. You kind of know you've done it because the Mac's unlocked, but you get it on the watch as well. Obviously that happening a lot will be draining the battery one way or the other, but yeah, it doesn't seem to have affected it, not that I can notice anyway. And on the whole, the betas are going okay. iPhone battery is not the greatest, to be honest. It does get pretty low. for the 6 Plus, but you know, it gets me through till I go to sleep. Both watch and phone do. So you know, if you can do from waking up to going to bed, that's not a bad deal, really. And of course, it's betas. It'll get better yet. So you know, we'll see. We'll see what happens as we progress. What's Audi doing? Why is Audi there? Oh, what they're doing? They're having some sort of it'll be some sort of wedding thing, isn't it? And then I want them all to go together. They do that a lot. They get all these fancy supercars, go off and do their amazing weddings. So yes, train of thought entirely left the station. What was I on about? Apple Watch. Apple Watch, bringing me on to Apple Watch. Commiserations greatly to someone will follow on Twitter at Apple Watcher Twitter account if you want to go over and visit, and I'll probably try and pop up a little image in here. I mean, he was one of the first early adopters of the Apple Watch. He got it on launch day, delivered. Excitingly, he's had the steel version with a sapphire glass as well, which obviously doesn't scratch. Mine's got some scratches on, but you know, I got the cheapest Sport. So, but Saturday morning he tweeted out, "What a great start to the weekend," and a shattered Apple Watch screen. Oh man! Dropped it waist height onto tiled floor, and the screen completely shattered. I'll try and put that picture up. Not that I'm, you know, advertising his misery anymore. Sorry, but yeah, it's a shame. It's very sad to see a bit of technology like that die. But the biggest thing, and I didn't realise this, probably a bit of a flaw on my point. Apple don't replace the Apple Watch screens. What they will do is they will give you a discount on a new Apple Watch for trading in your broken one, and it goes, and it may be eventually refurbished and resent out again, or the internals will be reused maybe. But yes, they don't replace the screen, so you can't go in the store and just get them to take that glass off and put a new glass on or anything like that. And consequently, because of this, it is very expensive to replace it if it's broken. In fact, it's so expensive, he says he's not going to actually bother. He's going to take it to the no, he's not going to take it anyway. He's putting it on eBay as broken, and he's going to wait for the next generation, whenever that may be, because no one knows. You know, we might not see one this year, maybe next year yet. But yeah, it's very sad news, and I kind of read up on it afterwards when they say you can repair it. It does seem pretty much you can't. I mean, you can probably find some third party somewhere that'll sell you a third party glass that you could try and replace yourself. Not that I'm convinced that would go so well. And certainly there was a few guys in sort of America trying to find places to get it fixed. You know, the normal repair stores and things, and none of them would do it. And then one had got a third-party glass, but then it said it wasn't doing the Force Touch right when they tried it with someone else's, so he didn't think it was worth trying with his. So yeah, it's a pretty, well, it's a pretty bad situation to be in, really, that you spend so much money on something and you can't really get it fixed. You can just get a new one, replacement, for an amount that is a lot of money. Whereas, you know, I imagine glass itself, and it's the same sort of frame size, they wouldn't even have to do sapphire. They could do the bog standard X-Ion glass that the Sport does just as a replacement, stick it on the steel version. But yeah, I suppose in a way it kind of just shows how little Apple make on the watches, because I imagine the cost of parts and everything else is probably making them quite expensive, and they're not selling the volumes compared to everything else that, you know, makes them the money, because that's the thing, isn't it? It's the numbers, big numbers game. If you do lots and lots of volume, then even though you're not making very much per unit, the overall is good. But the watch isn't that popular, of course, so this is part of the problem maybe. So sad times for the Apple Watcher and his lost watch. Well, smashed watch. So I've been missing his watch light tweets for sure. Presume he's going to still keep on tweeting from that account, just general Apple stuff as well. And yeah, like I say, it's kind of interesting that, because the other thing that came about it is the sport model. I was looking up some things and people had nightmares with the sport model, and it just scratch up really badly without them, you know, mistreating it or whatever else. Which amazes me, because mine does get some heckish stick with my work. I never put a screen protector on the end, because the one I got never covered all the glass, so kind of gave up with that idea. It gets some stick in it. It's not, I've got a couple of little tiny nicks that if you really concentrate and angle it in the light you can maybe see, but nothing to speak of. But yeah, these people have sort of got big scrapes down them, insisting they've not done anything, you know, and not bumped it, marked it, anything, and been super uber careful with it. And yeah, it was marked up. And then of course Apple didn't want to know about replacing it because of cosmetic damage. And yeah, there's this thing that won't replace the screen, so you just have to get a new one. You know, again, if you weren't happy with all the scratches or whatever else, they might offer you a reduced price on a new one and take that one off you in part exchange or whatever. So interesting things anyway. So what else has been happening this week? I don't know if I get a picture because of the rubbish weather that we've now come down to. Typical, isn't it? Trampoline turned up. I built this week, spent 2 nights doing that. 14-footer, big trampoline. It looks a big trampoline when it's up, with a halo enclosure as well, so it's got like a curved enclosure. So it did take me a couple of evenings to get that built up. I did the base bit so they could bounce on it on Tuesday night. It turned up on Tuesday, and then on the Wednesday night I completed the enclosure bit. So that's all up. I'll like I say, I don't know if I get any. I'm not going to get any pictures of anyone bouncing at the moment. It's no doubt a swamp of water, but that was pretty cool. So just for the summer holidays now, keep the boys amused in the nice warm weather, if it ever comes back, you know. While youngest was at school, scorching blazing hot. As soon as he finishes, weather goes rubbish. Oh well, never mind, eh? So what else has been going on? A bit of Star Wars Battlefront, of course. Plodding along. I've not done loads, to be honest. I've not done not been on it that much, because I've kind of like got to a point where I'm about as far as I can get. Well, I'm not as far as I'll get by a million miles, to be honest, because there's loads of missions I haven't done if you're not even playing online multiplayer. And there are still hut contracts I need to do, and there's the general sort of things to do. So there is still loads to do, but obviously at the moment I can't gain any more rank. I'm the highest rank, so I can't get anything else that way. So it's just sort of one of these things. I've been plodding along, having a go. I had to do a challenge where I used a heavy blaster, one of the heavy blasters. I got it previously, I've been really into that, but since I've been doing lots of different guns and things, I kind of just lost the way with it. I had to do 75 kills with that, and I struggled so much to get decent kill numbers. Really struggled. In fact, I was really glad when I finally completed that, just so I could have a different gun and go through a few ranges of them. I tried some pistols, but then I wasn't happy with them either. I just still think I'm rubbish at aiming, to be perfectly honest. That's the problem. And on the whole, what happens is I get hit before someone else does. The heavy blaster is good because obviously it fires rapidly and it's got very powerful shots, but you have to get a few on target to get a kill, and that's kind of what stitched me up with it, really, because I might land one in the spray I was trying to aim, but in that time whoever it was had got a gun that was a one-shot kill and had taken me out before I could get them again. So yeah, on some occasions I was like dead sure I was hitting them square on with millions of rounds out of this thing, and it was not taking them down at all, and I was just getting yeah. So Paulie Car has got me home, and no misfires and no shudders and nothing, so I'm kind of hedging that it's a sensor issue rather than an actual real problem. But the garage will find out next week. So I'm off inside. So this has been this week's coffee vlog. Slightly better week, so hey, that's good, isn't it? And got a weekend now to look forward to. It's supposed to be sunnier tomorrow, so get some bouncy castle action going on then. Bouncy castle, trampoline even. Ready for the weekend, I think. Okay, have a good weekend and week next week, and I'll catch you next week. Coffee vlog.